Hey Flosstube, how are you? Back with video number 3. Today is February 1st, 2020. Kind of a cold-ish, rainy day here today. So a good day to stay in and stitch and make a video. So here I am. So, what's been going on since I saw you last time? A lot of stitching. That's what's been going on. So, just a couple of things, some questions that I've had that I want to talk about right away. This picture behind me over our bed has gotten a lot of questions. It's beautiful. That was painted by a good friend of my husband's when he worked on the Mississippi River. And the story of that painting is that the gentleman was in an office that had no window. So he decided to make his own. And it's painted on a piece of foam core. So we just put it up there. We like it. We think it's lovely. My husband got it because the gentleman decided he wanted a smaller window in his office, so he painted a second one. So, but we love original artwork. So, so that picture prompted my husband, because I collect a couple of different things. I collect shiny bright ornaments. It's an illness. I collect cross-stitch charts. Also an illness. I collect nativities that I leave up all year long. And in direct contrast to that, I collect things associated with Sleepy Hollow. So, this guy always did my husband worked for a towboat company on the Mississippi River, and every year for breast cancer awareness, this guy would do an original piece of artwork and they would auction it off. Now, not a professional artist. As far as I know, he has no website where you can purchase art. But my husband did commission a piece of art for me one year for my birthday. And I have told people, since they like this one so much, that I'll show that one. So, and he does great, like, spooky kind of stuff. So here is my Headless Horseman that my husband commissioned for me. When he would do the pieces for breast cancer awareness, because probably 99% of the company that they worked for were men, he did a lot of like dark, I believe he was from New Orleans originally, and he did a lot of like trees with Spanish moss and like swamp, kind of like dark pieces, but gorgeous. So we thought he was the perfect person to do one of those for me. So my husband commissioned that for me. And then a couple years later, I have friends that are local that do have a shop, and I will link them below if you're interested in any of their things. And they do great things too. Right there is another piece of their art that I'm getting ready to show you, and I have an original from them as well that I may show at a later time. But we commissioned this piece, and this is a print of the original piece they did for me. The original is on board, and it is inside a box that I actually won at a cross stitch retreat as part of my, well, I got it as part of the exchange at a cross stitch retreat. So now, the other thing is, who am I watching this month? I finished up watching all of Dina Half Stitch, unless she has posted something new today, and I haven't looked yet. Bendy Stitcher usually uploads something on Saturday. Haven't looked at that either. So, other than that, I'm now watching Mary Rose at Stitch Bliss Corner, and I'll link her below too. Fascinating woman. Lots of history. I don't know if she was a history professor at one time, but man, you get a good dose of history. And she stitches kind of large, complicated projects, or not complicated necessarily, but detailed. And her method, she uses couching instead of backstitch. I don't stitch a lot of things with backstitch, but I'm very interested to try that on the next piece that I have. So go on and watch her video on couching. It is amazing, the difference that couching as opposed to that kind of jaggedy one stitch at a time backstitch makes. It's just extraordinary. I don't know what else to say about that. So also, since I saw you last time, I did a FFO retreat in Franklin, Tennessee, and I'm going to show you some of those in just a little bit. What we got accomplished there. There were 8 of us there, 7 of us there, and we finished 100 projects between the group of us. So if you, I'm not sure if Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche has made that video yet, but she had really good pictures and video of that. And then I also went to a Saturday Stitch Day in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. There were about 35 of us there. This is a group that started out just with maybe 8 people, and it's just an amazing group of stitchers. Laura Ellis is the organizer for that, and you can find her or find the group online at Facebook at My Southern Porch, and I will link that below as well. So we had 35 people there. We had a fabulous brag table to start out the new year, give everybody a little bit of inspiration. If you would like to see that, Stephanie at Just Keep Stitching took a great video of that, and I'll link their latest video below too, because she is answering all the questions. If people have questions about our finishes and, you know, who stitched it, who the designer was, you know, what kind of colors we used, whatever, I think that she is submitting questions to the group, and then she posts the answers in their comments. So I think kind of having it all consolidated in one spot like that is the best way to handle that. So, and like you guys need for me to tell you to go watch Just Keep Stitching. Fabulous. I've known Pam for a very long time. I've known Stephanie maybe 2 or 3 years. Fabulous ladies. I don't know what else to say about them. Funny. Kind of what you see is what you get. You know, they are the people that you see on the video. So, and incredibly kind ladies. And funny, just funny. So go watch them. So now let's talk about what I did for January. So my plan was to start 6 things, and I did. How many do you think I finished? All but 1. I'm only carrying over 1 into February, and it's the one I thought in the beginning that I would carry over. So I'm carrying over winter. So let me show you my progress. I have finished 5 of the 6, and I have fully finished 2 of the 6. So, and I finished those at the weekend when we went to Franklin to do that. So I'll show you those first as a separate part from the FFO parade, if you will give me one moment. So the first piece I started was Official Snow Guide by Lizzie Kate, which I will give away at the end of this video. And if you did not win it, you can buy it in my online shop, and I will link to that as well. So how did I finish? This is one of my FFOs. So here is Official Snow Guide. A little bit Priscilla-fied, maybe. And this was just a standard frame that I bought at Hobby Lobby that it just happened to fit into. And then the picks I bought on clearance at Joann's for like 10 cents each. There's a lot of hot glue on there. And then this was a piece of homespun fabric that I tore and just glued that little snowflake button into the center of. And I believe I got those buttons at Joann's. So, and they did not have shanks on the back of them, so I didn't have to take those off. I just glued it right on. The second thing I started was The Snow Is Coming Down, which was, I thought was going to be one of my favorite pieces to stitch, and it was. So here's how I finished it in an oh-so cube. Here's the fabric on the back. Perfect. A little bow on the top. So now I don't construct my boxes the way some people do from like foam core or whatever. I use just green floral foam. Works for me. And it's, as you can see, not perfect. Little slanty on one side. It's fun. I am not a perfect finisher, but I will use it as model and it'll be fine with me. Good enough for me. So the next thing I started was Long Winter by Bent Creek. And here it is finished. So pretty. Quick finish. And let me tell you something about that little Dorothy snowman down there at the bottom. Look at him. He for sure is a Tennessee snowman, because that's about how much snow we get. It's just enough to build a little tiny, teeny tiny snowman. Hardly be qualified as a snowman in some places. So what did I do? Let me consult my pages here. See if I did anything different to him. So for this one, all the snow you see on the ground, and we do not get that much snow on the ground. Like our whole yard, that little Dorothy snowman there, it would take all the snow in our yard to build him. That's all you got. You got to scoop it all up, make your little snowman that's about this big. Put him on top of the car. That's what my kids used to do, like a hood ornament. They're very sad. My children have never built a real snowman, just because we just don't get that much snow. Okay, so this one is Long Winter by Bent Creek. I started it on January 21st and finished it on January 25th. This might have been the third thing. This is the fourth thing I started, not the third thing. It is done on 32 count platinum, because nothing doesn't look good on platinum. It's 137 by 46. I used, look at all the snow. Okay. So, all that snow used a whole 5-yard skein of oatmeal. And, like, I had nothing left. Now, I'm not super conservative with my floss. But I am pretty conservative with it. Like, I don't throw away like this much floss. You know, I might throw away that much. You know, I don't stitch it down to like nothing, but because it just gets too thin and scraggly on the ends for me. So I used all 5 yards of that. Schneckly, I used 1 yard of that, 1 yard of putty, 1 yard of black crow, 2 yards of dolphin. Dolphin is the water on the pond, and the those kind of swirly things you see over the trees there. Those are all done in dolphin. 3773 DMC, which was literally 1 stitch in the skater's face. So I say whatever flesh tone you have in your DMC stash, whatever, because you're going to do 1 stitch. Just sub it. It'll be fine. Blue spruce, I used 1 yard. Brick, I used 1 yard. Maple syrup, 1 yard. Soot, 1 yard. And dark chocolate, I used 1 yard. Now, did I make any changes? Just a couple. I used 7. Well, okay, so one thing about the chart is the symbol for oatmeal is incorrect. So, which you can see in the chart immediately when you look at it. It's just the symbol's incorrect. You can correct it. It's fine. The only change that I made was right here. These things, let me back up just a little bit. These things are supposed to be French knots with oatmeal. I substituted Mill Hill beads because I wanted it to look a little icy, sleety, snowy. And for those beads, I used Mill Hill 40123, which were the petite beads. Stitched it on 32 count with 2 threads over 2 threads. So that makes it like 16 count. When I went back and looked at the chart, if you want to, and I used 712 to put those on. I didn't use the oatmeal to put those on, mainly because I didn't have enough. I mean, it was gone. You could easily sub the Schneckly, which I believe are the window color there. Black Crow, which was just in the boys' skates, and putty. I think you could easily substitute, because I think the putty was his pants, his snow pants. And you can't really see the variegation in those. Now, you could also substitute 712 or something similar for the snow, I think. And it's kind of hard to see here on camera, but there is some good variegation in that oatmeal. So I don't know that I wouldn't invest that money. And you're going to use the whole skein. So I think I would go ahead and buy the oatmeal if it were me. But you could certainly substitute 712 or something, you know, like that 3865, one of those wintry whites for that. It'll be fine. So my second start which I'm going to have to insist that you buy all the threads for, because the variegation is so pretty in this one. Now, this is an old chart, and we can still get it right now from Hoffman. It's called Starlight, Star Bright by Abby Lane. I started it on the 16th of January and finished it, excuse me, on the 29th of January. It did not take me 13 days to do it. I allowed each project 5 days. So I did not finish it by the 21st, so I backed up to it and was able to finish it. It's stitched on 25 count mushroom Lugana, which is the called for fabric. 127 by 50 is the stitch count. I'm calling it finished. I'm waiting on the buttons to put on it. When I get those, I'll show it to you again. Because I think I'm going to finish this as a doorstop. Look at him. Now, let me tell you about this piece. It uses a lot of thread because it is stitched on 25 count over 2. You use 3 strands to get enough coverage. But the variegation in this is just fantastic. I love it. So, I used 2 yards of cocoa, which is the thread used for his hat. I used 4 yards of navy. That's the lettering, the wording, the lettering. 1 yard of evergreen, which is the green band in his hat. 1 yard of brandy, which is the flower on his hat. 1 yard of bittersweet for his nose. 1 yard of chestnut. Now, you could maybe sub the chestnut, because chestnut is used just for the center of that flower and the outline of the flower. So I don't think you get enough variegation in it. That maybe it's worth buying the skein. I used 2 yards of blue spruce for his scarf, and you can see the variegation in there when you look at it a little closer. I used 6 yards of oatmeal, so you would need to buy 2 5-yard skeins or 1 10-yard skein of oatmeal, and that's a gentle art fabric or thread, so you could do that. And 1 yard of black crow for his eyes and his mouth. And the fringe on the bottom of the scarf is also done in blue spruce. So the only correction that there was to this chart was that the chestnut on the chart is listed as a sampler thread, and it is not. It is a Weeks Dye Works color. So that's the only, look, it happens, right? People make mistakes. It's fine. You figure it out. Okay, so the next thing, ooh, I didn't write down my finish. I have to go back and do that. So my next thing is Scatter Snowflakes by Shepherd's Bush. I probably started it on the 26th of January, and I probably finished it on the 28th or 29th. It is stitched on 19 count summer khaki cork linen. The stitch count is 30 by 140. And the colors, and this is another one I'm waiting for the buttons for that. And I think I'm going to make it into a pillow. The colors on this are just delicious. I don't know what else to say other than the colors are just, I love them. just delicious threads. I don't know. You can see he's got a little striped hat. And a little checked snow hat there at the end. I loved stitching this piece. So, what did the thread look like for it then, right? And also you use three strands for the stitching part, the cross stitching, and you use 2 strands for the back stitching for that. So I used 4 yards of Really Teely. Really Teely is what the words are stitched in. I used 2 yards of Key Largo. Key Largo is used for those swirlies under Scattered Snowflakes and Beside and Warm Wishes. I used 1 yard of Bean Sprout. Bean Sprouts used in the hat, the mittens, and I believe the pom-pom for the hat on this side. I used 4 yards of Snowball, which is all the white. And it is a bright white, but you could probably substitute B5200 and it would be fine. 1 yard of Eve's Leaves, which is also used in the hat, the mitten, and that flower hanging from the lady's snow lady's arm there. 1 yard of Cherry Tomato, which is the lighter pink. 1 yard of Bandana, which is the darker red and used for And Warm Wishes. And 1 yard of Molasses that's used for their eyes, the buttons, and their arms. So that's the tally. I said you could probably sub B5200 for the Snowball, but it is a bright white. I did not compare the B5200 to see how closely they match, but it's a bright white. And you could probably substitute the Bandana for like 816, one of those darker reds. So now the one I didn't finish, but I'll show you my progress, is Winter by the Cricut Collection. And it is a fun stitch. So, and I'm getting close. So, I don't feel too bad about carrying that over. Because it's manageable, right? If I finish something else during the year, I can back up, pull that out, stitch it, and it'll be fine. So, now, what am I going to do for February? My February I thought was going to be pretty ambitious. I've started stitching on it today. Not sure it is so ambitious. But let's talk about it anyways. So, what am I going to do for February? February, I'm going to do the Glitter House series by Country Cottage Needleworks. So I started one of them today. I started the first one today, and there are 9 of them. And oh, here's number 1. Sorry, I stuck it down in here. I'll show them all to you. So here's number 1. This is the one I've started stitching. Here's number 2, Little Pink House. Number 3, I thought was another blue house. But it's a greenhouse. It's done with lettuce leaf. I'll show you the colors in just a minute. Another little pink house, number 4. Church for number 5. Another pink house for number 6. Another little green house for number 7. A pink house for number 8. And the blue house for number 9. Cute. They are all stitched on. It says on the pattern that they're all stitched on raw silver that you can get from Yarn Tree. I have substituted raw opalescent that I got from Witchold, and you can see the sparkle in it. Pretty good there. Okay, now I allowed myself 3, because February is a short month, remember. Although not much shorter because we're in a leap year. So I allowed myself 3 days per house. And I thought, be easy to finish them in 3 days, right? And I think I'm right. But I also think it's going to be much shorter than 3 days. And let me show you why. Because I've stitched on it 2 hours today, the outline of the house, and I've started filling in the house already. Let me show it to you again, because I think it's going to go quick, and then I can back up and get, see, and this tree, a lot of the pine needles on the tree are half stitches. I think it's going to go quick. I think I'm going to be done way quicker. When we get to the middle of February and I do my next video, there might be a vote about, now I can back up then if I finish, and finish my winter by Cricut collection. So I can do that. But I think I'm still going to have more stitching time. And I've got a really great FFO idea for this one. So I may use part of that stitching time that I'm not going to use to fully finish it and let you see it. So, so that's my plan for February. Now, oh, let me show you the threads for this, because they are yummy. Okay, so we've got bamboo, which is the white, gingerbread, lettuce leaf, which is kind of that greeny blue. We use 4-leaf clover for the trees. Pink posy. So the pink houses are 2 different colors of pink. Pink posy and cobbled peach for the pink houses. Cherry tomato. Or maybe cherry tomato's the other. And then Pebble Beach, which is rooftops. Brown hen. And I've already started. And some of these you need multiple strands of, or multiple skeins of. The bamboo, I think you need 6. 4-leaf clover, you need 2. And then there's blue beadboard. That's what I've started stitching with today. That blue house is the blue beadboard. So, excited about that. And I think they are going to go really, really, really quickly. So, what else have I been up to? Well, the FFOs. Remember the infamous under the bed box? I took it with me, or my under the bed art portfolio. I took it with me. You are not going to see today the one thing that I was so excited about. Part of which are the berries. Part of the reason I'm not going to show them to you is they didn't get fully finished. I got them cut out. I got the interfacing put on the back, and I got them sewn together and turned. I did not get them all stuffed, and I did not get their caps put on. And the finish that I really want to do for them, I can't do yet, because I can't find all the parts. So I'm gonna hold off on showing those to you, but I will show you what else I got done at our finishing weekend. So, all in my little 31 bag here. I love these things. So, I love them so much, I signed up as a dealer. I'll give you some information on that too when I get signed up. So, or when I actually start. So, here is my recipe for a snowman. This I got as a kit, so I really just had to do an insert for him. They do not sell it as a kit anymore, primarily because this is stitched on like a 16 count Heatherfield, and it isn't made anymore. You can, however, still get the chart at Pine Mountain Pillows. So that's that guy. He got finished. Just a little pillow insert was all that needed. So I didn't sew, you know, all of this together. It was already sewn together when I got it. Now, this one I did not finish on our FFO weekend, but I did finish it as a class last weekend at Elizabethtown. So, this was a Lizzie Kate chart. And it is stitched with the called for floss, but it was stitched on African Daisy, which is Witchell hand-dyed Joblin. My little bow on the top, my ribbon all around, and then that was the fabric that I picked to finish the back of it. Okay, so I got that. I did this one. This was a Lizzie Kate kit. I don't know if you can still find it. It would be at 123 Stitch. So in the kit you got, I believe, the fabric, the floss, which was coal. You got the buttons to do these eyes, and you got the little mini pom-pom. See that I pinned around there in the kit. So, and here's my ribbon and my little bow and then there's the back. And again, my no-sew cubes, I don't construct my boxes. I do them, I make them out of floral foam. I just cut it to the right size, and it is what it is. So, here, I think this is called Thankful Alphabet by, it is a heart and hand chart. I do know that. And you get the chart, and you get the little acorn charm up there. Now, a lot of these ideas I stole from Sylvia at Becca's Land, because she had all these little things that she stitched, and she did them mostly as pillows, and she did the cute bows and all the things, and I decided I was going to copy her. Now, she has a new video out, and I will link that at the bottom as well, because we are going into pillow land now, because that's all I did last weekend. Made pillows all weekend. This is from the 1997 Just Cross Stitch Christmas ornament issue, and this fabric, which was perfect my Jennifer from Jen's Stitching Niche found and chose for that pillow. And it is adorable and I love it. And she only had a fat quarter of it. And I'm heartbroken that I cut it up, which is insane, right? Because we want to cut up our fabric, but especially if we've got things that we can use it for that are perfect. But it's just such pretty fabric. So got that one done. The alphabet pumpkin, that is a JBW design. So, and these are two different pieces of fabric. Again, took that idea from Sylvia. Here's the back of that one. Kringle's Coal. This is also from one of the Just Cross Stitch ornament issues, but it was not from 97. This ticking came like this. It's antiqued. It looks like coffee tea dyed. This is 1/4 inch black ribbon, and the fabric I believe is 36 count fabric. I stitched it with one thread over two, and I coffee and tea dyed it. I think it was cream originally, because I was going to use it just as cream, but my little snowman didn't show up there. None of the white showed up, so I just threw it in some coffee and tea and left it for most of the day, and it was perfect. And the last ones I'm going to show you are from one of the Lizzie Kate Tiny Tidings books, and I meant to look and see which one, and I just quite frankly forgot. So here's Naughty or Nice, and I did use the embellishment pack that came with it. I don't know if those are available anymore. Ho ho ho, let it snow. That fabric was a contribution from my friend Dana, and the Rick Rack was a contribution from Sharon. And that's the thing, when we do our FFO weekend, we all bring our stuff, and we all bring supplies. Fabric, ribbon, glue, interfacing, stuffing, you name it, we bring it. And we just share. We share, unless it is, of course, earmarked for something else, you know, that somebody bought it specifically for something else. And we get a meeting room and we just finish all weekend. We brought sewing machines, anything you can think of that you needed to finish. And we were very close to both Joann's and Hobby Lobby, just in case we forgot anything else. And here's Reindeer Crossing. So this is fabric, and this again is 1/4 inch ribbon with polka dots, and I thought that was just perfect. So that's what I finished on my weekend. Now, the sewing did not take a lot of time to do. The stuffing took forever, and many bags of stuffing. I think we bought all the stuffing in Nashville. So, and for the ornaments that I said came from the Just Cross Stitch, let me show you this. So, I bought these 3 DVDs. This takes up the space of all of my Just Cross Stitch magazines from 1983 to 2010. And I think they also have another one now that I need to buy and get rid of the rest of those magazines. So I took 27 years worth of magazines, right? 83 to 2010. You can do the math. So 27 years worth of magazines go into this little space. Now, this has on it all of the magazines from the selected year. So this one's from 83 to 1990. You can see there's a Mary Bill stocking on there. So it's just digital, and you can pop it in the CD drive, DVD drive of your computer and print the charts out, which is what I do. And these include the ornament issues. Or you can buy the ornament issues separately on another disc. It does not include the Halloween issues. There is a disc for the Halloween issues for some of them. I haven't purchased that one yet because I had the Halloween issues, and they didn't take up that much space in my collection because they're once a year, and they didn't start those, I think, until mid 2000s. Maybe it was sooner than that, but I don't think so. So they don't take up that much space in my collection yet that I've bought the CD for that. But this, and I sell these again in my shop. Fabulous idea. If you need space, you need to condense some stuff. Great idea. So now let's do what you're all here for, right? The giveaways. So I'm giving away first, the snow is coming down. You will not get the charm. You do get the threads and the beads for that, because I did substitute beads for his eyes and mouth and buttons or something like that. We had 22 people sign up for that, and the winner is Renee Crump. So Renee, congratulations. I'll put my email address in here so you can send me your mailing address. Do not post it publicly. And then I'll get it out to you. So and then the next one that I'm giving away with the threads and the little wintry thread drops there is the official snow guide. And we had 17 people sign up for that, and Kelly Hale is the winner of the official snow guide. Kelly Hale. So again, I'll put my email address underneath. And also, somebody asked me for my little journal sheet that I use. Since I'm putting my email address in here, the easiest way to do that is for you to email me there and ask me. And it's pajamasstitcher@gmail.com. The easiest way to get that, because I have it in a file on my computer, is just request it there. And that way I can just attach it in a reply and get it right out to you. So, and it is a good way to keep up with things. So, now, since I've given those away, I'm going to give these away. The ones I finished. So, I'm giving away Long Winter by Bent Creek. And I'm not giving away the threads with these this time because I used most of them. So, and some of them I just used from my stash, and I didn't have enough left to give them away. So if you want Long Winter, just say Long Winter in your comment. Starlight, Star Bright, If you will just say Starlight in your comment, I will sign you up for that one for the giveaway. And I'll give these away on let's say the video on the 15th. So that'll give you time to get everything in. And then scatter snowflakes, which again doesn't show up real well here. So just say scatter snowflakes in your comment. I'll show you this since you couldn't see that real well. So this is what it looks like. And I'll show this one again too when I get the buttons and get those put on. So I want to thank everybody for you know, those of you who have subscribed. I want to thank you for coming back. New people, I want to thank you for watching. I'm up to 524 subscribers. That's crazy. So I just want to thank everybody. You know, you got a lot of choices out there, and I'm sure you're watching all of them. I wish I could watch all of them. I'm getting there. I'm getting to you as fast as I can. So when I sit down to stitch at night in my pajamas, no, I'm talking to somebody. I do. I watch Flosstube and I talk to the screen like they can hear me. Sometimes I'll email Dana or Dina and I'll say, Dina, I'm watching your new video. Can you hear me talking to you? And she just laughs. So, oh, here's one more pillow. I forgot to show you that one. Merry and Bright. Look at that. I don't know how I missed that one. That's the biggest one. Anyways, Tiny Tidings, Lizzie Kate. So I will, I'll be done for now. I'm getting ready to leave next week, for Orange Beach, Alabama to do a retreat there. I'll be with Jen from Jen's Stitching Niche. We might sneak in some kind of live stream or something. I don't know, and I'm not promising anything. But it is a gorgeous location. And if you wanted to do one of my retreats and you could only sneak in one a year, that's the one, man. It is gorgeous. Our stitching spot, our meeting room is oceanfront. It's nice and warm there this time of year, right on the Gulf of Mexico. Just a beautiful spot to be. Really relaxing. I do that my birthday week. I give myself the gift of the beach for my birthday week. So, and Jen, whose birthday is 2 days after mine, we celebrate our birthdays together. So, I love her. She is the sweetest. And all of her sisters, I've been made an honorary sister. I feel very honored by that. So, so until I see you guys next time, I'll be stitching on my glitter village, which may be done by the time I see you on the 15th. I don't know. So until I see you next time, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'm just a little overwhelmed by it all, I've got to say. I didn't expect, you know, 2 viewers, much less 524. So I'm always, every time I look at that number, I'm like, what? So at any rate, and I'm going to go stitch on my glitter village, and on this rainy evening, see if I can get my hubby to take me for something to eat. And until I see you next time, stitch all the things. Bye.